as a firm was established in 2012. Sakshi, I hope everybody can see the slides, guys.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So Imarticus was established as a firm in 2012, and we started with the operations in South India with the courses of finance only. But later on, we expanded to North India and also different programs in data science and artificial intelligence, digital marketing also. Okay, so now we have pan-India presence, and also we have expanded into international operations also. Okay, so Imarticus is providing skill-based courses in the fields of finance now, data science, and technology marketing. Okay. Specifically talking about the field of finance, we are offering courses related to investment banking, financial analysis, and retail and wealth management. So the programs are skill-based courses in which we have designed the curriculum in coordination with the industry requirements. Okay, so these programs, these curriculums are designed in consultation with the industry expert and with the companies so that we can provide relevant education, relevant skills, and help the students get placed. Okay. Also, our programs are divided into broadly two categories: placement assistance programs and placement guaranteed programs. So CBWM is our placement guaranteed program, in which we take all the necessary steps. We take all the extra steps also to make sure the students get placed. Okay. So I think we can move to the next slide, Sakshi. Okay, so talking about some numbers of Imarticus, till date we have provided the trainings to 35,000 students and counting, and our average training feedback is 4.68. Okay, so this includes the feedback for the trainers, the process and all, and this is the average number, 4.68. We would like this to go higher, and we would like you to contribute in this also, in how we can improve it further. Okay, so this is something we really are very serious about, and we make sure we are always close to 5 in this part. Okay, we have 200 plus trainers across the board, across the programs, across centers. So these numbers which you are seeing are broad for the pan-India operations. Yeah. We have 20 plus courses, and one thing I would like to highlight in this is the salary is 4 plus lakhs. Okay, so this is the median salary. This is not an average salary. The median salary does not get impacted by the outliers like average figure does. Okay, so this is something again which we are proud of, and this varies a lot. So depending upon the previous qualification of the student and the industry requirements at that point, how the will go, this figure can vary a lot. Okay? So the highest we have reached is 11 lakhs also. Right? It's more about how the student is able to project his or his knowledge at the time of interview. Okay, and we have been able to provide placements to 87% students, eligible students, right? So in the placement assured program, we follow a particular scoreboard for every student. There is a scorecard for every student, and based on that, your eligibility for placement is decided. Now, for all the eligible students, we have placed 87% of those students. Okay, so these are key highlights which I wanted to discuss with you. And guys, please understand that we are a placement company. Okay, so usually what the conception is that Imarticus is a placement organization. We are not a placement organization like Naukri or Shine or other organizations, but a training and so what we expect from the students
Actually, you are not
Ematicus.
properly audible. So can you please louder your voice?
Okay, please check now. Is it any better?
Yes, so now it's okay.
Yeah, Anshul, now it is much better.
Okay. So guys, I was saying that please consider that Ematicus is a training and placement organization. Okay, not just a placement. The process we follow at Ematicus and what we expect from every candidate in Ematicus is that there is an entire training process which happens, and that's the main step in trying to reach the destination of placement. Okay, so please take your training part very sincerely, and once we have that support from your side, we'll be definitely able to help you in placements and provide you good placements. Okay, so training and placements both are taken care of in Ematicus, not just the placements. Okay, and in the training part, your support is very much required. Now let's ask Sakshi to take over and brief you about the training methodology, the LMS portal, and your card for the CBWM program. Sakshi, if you can please help us.
Yeah, thank you, Anshul. So, hello everyone. Sakshi this side. So, I'll be taking care for the training part. So, basically, I'm the training coordinator. So, if during the journey you feel any queries regarding to the training, you can directly reach out to me. Okay, so after this meeting, I'll be also sharing my email ID as well as my number on the email so that you can directly contact me. Okay, so coming to the training part, I'll just give you an overview about the same.
Sakshi, one sec. Santosh and Mohammed Jubair, can you please mute yourself? Because it's creating a lot of disturbance. Mohammed Jubair and
Yes, guys, so this session is being recorded. So please keep your mic on mute so that there is no background noise.
Sakshi, can you mute this Mohammed Jubair from your end? Because one thing is there.
Just give me a second.
Yeah, now it's
Okay. So now I was saying that I'll just give you the brief over the training part of the Ematicus. Okay. So first of all, the screen is visible to everyone, I guess, right? So basically, this will be the LMS platform. So LMS platform is the one for the credentials of which we will be sharing with you all for your self-practice, as well as all the exams and the assignments will be available only on the LMS platform. Okay. So once you get the user ID and password for the LMS, so this will be the screen of the same when once you log into the same, right? So this is the module. The name of module is Certified Investment Banking and Wealth Management. So once you click on this module, you will be getting all the modules in between, like all the assignments which you have to complete during your journey, as well as all the puzzles, all the handouts, evaluation tests, all will be available in this platform only. Right? So I'm just moving on to the next slide. Yeah. So on the LMS platform, you will be having some pre-activities as well as the post-activities. So pre-activities are the one like you must be receiving the program schedule, like what will be covered in the classroom. So you can accordingly go through the content part from the LMS, and you can come to the class like having the pre-information of the modules. And after that, once your class has been completed, then and you go to home, you can also revise the assignments of that same module, right? And this is the gradebook parameter. So here you have the weightage of the 100% marks. So basically this is a kind of a report card which you have in your schools. Okay, so this grade book will also be available on the LMS once you complete your course. So I'll just go through the criteria. So number one is attendance. So guys, attendance is very much important part for throughout your course. You will have to attend each classes which have been shared with you. So if you have any kind of emergency and you are not available in the class, then you will have to inform us previously so that we can accordingly mark your attendance. Okay, so attendance percentage will be counted in the gradebook as 10%. And then just give me a second. Yeah, so attendance percentage will be counted in the gradebook as 10%. And then semester one evaluation. So semester one evaluation is the one like you have your modules semester wise. Okay, so the whole course has been divided into 3 semester, semester 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so once you complete your semester 1, we will be sharing an evaluation over the LMS. So basically this evaluation is a kind of test. So whatever you have learned in the semester 1, you will have to give a test based upon those topics. Okay, so that test will be carrying 10% in between the whole weightage. So you will have to be well prepared for the evaluation. Plus, once your semester 1 is completed, you will have your evaluation as well as the level 1 mock. So basically, mock interview is a kind of interview which includes all the topics you have covered, plus your communication skills will be tested. Like once you go to the companies, so they will also check about your communication skills, your body language, plus your domain knowledge. So everything will be included in this mock. So you will have to be prepared for everything because this will also carry 10% weightage, right? So semester 1 evaluation and mock 1 will be held after the completion of semester 1. Then similarly with the semester 2 as well as the semester 3. So semester 2 evaluation and mock 2 will held after the completion of your semester 2. And finally, we come over the semester 3. So once you complete all your course, then semester 3 evaluation will take place and the final mock will take place in the end. So in the final mock, everything will be included, like your level 1, level 2 domain knowledge and communication skills. And we will also check that whether you are prepared for the HR interviews as well or not. So based on all these criteria, attendance is 10%, semester 1 evaluation includes 10%, semester 2 evaluation includes 15%, semester 3 with 15%, level 1 mock includes 10%, level 2 mock includes 15%, and then final mock 25%. So 100% is based on these criteria. Am I clear till now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
So if
ma'am.
you
Yeah,
have
ma'am.
any confusion, you can raise your hand as well, or you can drop a query in the chat box, right? So moving forward. Yeah. So once you complete all the levels, mocks, evaluations, and assignments over the LMS, so this will be your certificate. Okay, so once you complete the course, you will be having the certificates over the LMS only. So the criteria for the certificate is if you score 90% and above, you will be provided with the grade A, which is tier 1, and you will be having this certificate of excellence. Okay, so you can have a look on the certificate. So basically, this is how your certificate will look like. Okay, so if you score tier 1 or 90% and above, you will be having this certificate of excellence. And if you score 70% to 89.99%, then you will be counted in tier 2, having the grade B, and you will achieve the certificate of achievement. Similarly, if you score 50% and between 50% to 69.99%, you will be coming into tier 3, which means you will be giving the grade C and the certificate of completion. And if you score 49% and below, then you will be having grade D, like you will be coming under tier 4, and you will be giving only the certificate of participation. So guys, it is very important for all of you to come under tier 1. So try your level hard to the best that you score tier 1, which is grade A. So you will be having the placement opportunities only if you achieve tier 1, tier 2 or tier 3. That is, you will have to score 69.99% above. Only then you will be coming under the placement. Okay, so everything is clear till now?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, guys. And also, over the LMS, you will be receiving the feedback after every semester. Like if you complete your first semester, you will be given the feedback over the LMS only. So what is the basically the criteria of the feedback is, I will be releasing the feedback form. So you will have to just give the gradings, give the ratings according to you. Okay, like whatever you have learned in the LMS is good for you, or the content was easy for you, like you were able to understand the content or not. So basically, overall experience will be counted through this feedback. So it is very important for all of you to fill this feedback so that we can, have the picture, like you are comfortable with the contents modules which have been provided to you or not, right? So yeah, this was from the trainings end. So if you have any queries related to anything, then you can ask me. Okay, so there is one chat. Yeah, so Prachi has asked the question that semester 1 or semester 2 evaluation test we have to give on the LMS portal. Yes, Prachi, as I mentioned that your evaluation will take place only on the platform of the LMS. So basically, once you complete your semester, I will be releasing the exam from here, and the exam will be having some time limit. So you will be provided with every small details, like how much will be the time duration, and when will you have to give the semester evaluation. So everything will be communicated to you. Okay. Plus, you will be receiving these schedules on Friday, on every Friday of the week. Okay. So I'll be just sharing the details, everything with you over the email only regarding the topics which cover in the upcoming week. Right. So you can, prepare as well for those topics. So am I clear for the training part? If
Yes,
you have
ma'am.
any queries, you can ask. Everything is clear?
Yes, ma'am. No queries.
Okay, so I'll be also sharing the program schedule, as well as the grading parts with you over the mail after this meeting. Okay, so going forward, now Geetika will take over the meeting, as she's taking care for the placement part. So she'll be explaining you the placement of the multi test. Geetika, over to you.
Thank you, Sakshi. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Geetika.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
I, along with my teammate Rajat Arora. Good afternoon. So we both are taking care of your placement assistance. We will provide you the placement opportunity. Let me give you a brief idea about how the placement process will work for you now onwards. Yeah. So we have a Marticus placement portal named as Superset. Okay, the process will be after completion of your course, you need to register on Superset, enroll for the ongoing placement cycle. We will share the registration link and you will receive the registration link. All the job opportunities floated via Superset only, and you have to apply on that. No mails, no calls or messages will be sent to you via us, either not from me or Rajat. You will get all the details from Superset. You have to keep the tracking because all the mail, whatever be the requirements we will be having, we have to share with you via Superset, right? We're going to shoot you if any of the opportunity we are going to share, you will get the mail or message on your registered email ID, what you have given to the Marticus team, right? So your final mark, your questions will be from the combination of what you earned your complete course and whatever you have highlighted in your resume. So in short, your level 1, level 2, level 3 plus resume. This will be the combination of your final, right? Till now, am I clear up to you on these points?
Yes, ma'am.
So for the eligibility, as Sakshi have already informed you, you must have to score at least tier 3, P3 in mocks during your final and placement mock to get eligible for the placement pool. That means below 50%, you won't be eligible for the placement cycle. You have to go for again a retraining and you need to reappear for the mock, right? There will be two types of mock will be there. One for your course completion, and to come into my pool, you have to go for the final mock with the internal trainer, Mr. Anshul. Attendance should be 80% and above, as what Sakshi have already informed you. Below that, you won't be eligible for the placement cycle. To get eligible for tier 1 retail banks like Anand Rathi, ICICI Bank, HDFC, Axis Bank, Bandhan Bank, etc., you have to score at least T1 or T2 in your final or placement mock. So if any of the student who is below T2 category won't be eligible for the tier 1 companies, right? So please prepare well yourself from your start itself and boost up yourself and try to become a minimum T2. Initially, 5 attempts will be provided by Superset to the students. That is, Superset, we are going to open the opportunities with you via Superset. And when you are applying for initial 5 companies, if a student did not secure the job in first 5 attempts, Superset assume that student required retraining and Superset will freeze them for some time. It is not like that you won't be eligible for further processes. There is a default setting in Superset that if from initial 5 openings, if you're not getting placed, that means Superset assume that you will require a retraining and you should go start working on yourself. So it's very easy, and to be honest, once you are going to appear for any of the interview, down the line, you would definitely going about yourself that where you are lacking. So start working on those parts initially itself. In such a case, a student to accept himself or herself that where they are lacking, you can contact your trainer for training or any of the part whether you can understand that yes, on this part, the interviewer asked me this question and I was not able to answer that part. So you can ask your trainer later on that on this part, I was not answerable. Kindly explain what I can be, what I should answer there. Okay. Retrain yourself and then you can get back to other placement pool and start applying for the job opportunities again. So for the eligibility process, am I clear, or do you have so many questions or queries?
Gitika, Abhishek here. Your screen is not visible. We can't see anything on the screen. So can you just,
Sure,
show them the process that what is superset and all?
sure, Abhishek. Rajat, I'm not able to do this. Can you please share your screen?
Sakshi, please give the access.
Sure, just give me a second. Yeah, Rajat, I have given you the access.
My screen is visible, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is the Superset portal, which you have seen in the my screen. So like this, we have posted the job opportunities on our portal. You know, since we have not received any batch for this wealth management program, so I'm just going through some other courses. So how we post the job here and how you will get the notification. See, whenever we post any job here, by default, Superset trigger an email on your registered email address from which you register on the Superset, and what your contact number which you have registered on this Superset, you will receive an text message on your mobile number just to notify you that we have posted a job opportunities here. What you required to come and check the job description. If you found any queries or questions, write back to Gitika or me, and if you are interested, then apply within the given deadline. Right. So starting with the Saxo Bank. See this. Like this, we have posted job opportunity. You will get the website. So after applying or before applying, just go through the company website and see what they are doing or which profile they are looking for the candidate. Means the job description. Like this is for Sebob, and this is for IB settlement. What is the CTC they are offering? What are the roles and responsibilities? So all things you have to see, and accordingly you have to register if you found that this opportunity is good for you and you are comfortable with the position. The second thing is those who are completely freshers. It's my recommendation to those students, try to apply for maximum opportunities. Don't try to skip, because they are freshers. They know this will help them to face the interview, and you will get the live experience of the interview. This will help you to boost for your next upcoming interview. So try to face as many as interviews in the initial time if you are a fresher. Those who are already experienced or already faced the interview, for them, just check the email if they are looking for fresher, not for the experience. So clear your doubt with us initially, because there are so many companies who are looking for fresher as well as for experience. So just clear your doubt with us, and if you found suitable, apply accordingly. I hope Gitika clears this point. Those who falls down under the category of T3, they have no choice. Just they have to apply for each and every opportunity. So what my suggestion is, try to score as many as number as you can. Prepare yourself accordingly, because there are lots of competition in the market. Communication and domain knowledge both are the biggest parameter to crack the interview. In Ematicus, my role is to acquire the clients, because I am the face person who will be interacting with the companies. So I know what they are looking for, what qualities they are looking for in the candidates. So try to prepare accordingly during your course. There are some more points which Gitika will continue in their session. Like you have to, whenever you face the interview, give them an example. This will directly, filter out your resume from the other profiles. Give them clear cut answer. Don't try to narrate any story. If you found you are weak in communication part, from this point of time, start, practicing or communicating in English. Try to improve it as much as you can. So these are the some basic hygiene points which you have to take care just to prepare yourself to be industry ready. And if you are industry ready, it will be very easy for you to crack any interview, no doubt.
So for the interview parameters, as Rajat sir have told you, that your communication, your domain knowledge should be very sound, right? If you're weak, if you found somewhere that if you're weak in your communication, that means including verbal part and the writing part as well. So excellent communication is a must to crack any of the interview of tier 1 category. Ensure to work hard on your communication skills and improve it. You have lot many verbal abilities series over the websites. Various websites are there, so you can start improving your communication now onwards. 50% of the questions in the interviews are from your basic domain knowledge, right? It is required to have very good knowledge of your basics, right? So from start onwards, if you find any difficulty during your training sessions, you may please feel free to ask your trainer that yes, there is some doubt and I'm not clear with this point. Majorly, the thing is you should be very much clear on your basic parts, then you can crack any of the interviews. So don't get impatient. Sometimes, as I have opened some company with you and you have shared your resume with us after going through the job description and all, but sometimes companies take time to complete their hiring process. So don't get impatient, just keep patience. We will inform you continuously that whatever be the process is going on, and if there is a resume shortlisting, then there might be some writing process is there, or that will be a written documentation will be required, or there will be a technical interview process. Whatever be the process will be coming to us, we are going to inform you by the time. And you should be very much ready for the relocation. Retail bank can ask you to relocate to any other city branch. So you should be ready to relocate if it will be required. So make your mind for the same, that you are not only be getting the position only for the Lucknow base. You are getting you might get the position for the Delhi base actually, or it will be Jaipur, or it will be not anywhere, or it could be South anywhere. So ready to relocate for the same. In the interview, 50% of the questions are from the basic of the course. As I've already cleared you on that part. If your basics are not clear, revisit and clear the basics. Take the help of your trainer and just go through it. As Rajat sir have told you, answer every interview questions with an example. So during your training process itself, as if your trainer is teaching you something, just try to ask them what example can be you can back up with this theory, or if we are going to ask by the interviewer that explain this term, then how you could answer them. You can ask your trainer, they're definitely going to help you out in that part. Smoothness of answer is very important to crack the interview. Just keep yourself calm first. There is no need to rush that if interviewer have asked you and you just need to reply back immediately. Take some time, relax back, understand the question, what they are asking, and very smooth and crisp answer you have to provide them. It's not required to narrate a story, and if you don't know the answer, be very honest to them. Okay. Your resume or CV should be in PDF format only. We are going to share a format with you. The Immaticus format, that format you have to make your resume, and you should share with me with the PDF format only. Before that, show your resume with and get approval from your trainer. They are going to help you in that part as well. And always show every detail in your resume very much correct. There is no need to, just manipulate your resume. During the document verification, whatever you are writing in your resume, every certificate will be required there. So if you have some certificate, only put that only. If you do not have any certificate, please do not mention that in your resume. If you have any other plans, so by the time are you be clear on these points during the placement cycle? During your course curriculum as well, we are going to help you out and we are going to explain you. After your level 1, again, we are going to conduct an intervention if you found any difficulty and how you are going to, where you have to work upon yourself. We are going to connect with you again on these parts. So if you have any other plans, apart from jobs, if you want to go for a higher education, or if you want to go for an entrepreneurship, you want to join your family business or any other plans, please inform us in advance. Once you are applying for any opportunity, and then if you are going to, step back, we can't buy that point, right? So just go through the job description properly, and accordingly you can apply for the position. But once you are applying for the position, you have to complete the cycle till the interview process done. Okay. So if you have any other plan apart from the job, please inform us in advance. Accordingly, we'll share the companies and we'll share your resume with the company. Okay. So this is all from my side. And also one more point, you are required to clear all your dues to get eligible for the placements as well, right? Am I clear on these points? And if you have any queries, you may please ask us.
No, ma'am.
Yes, Santosh.
Ma'am, I have one query.
Yeah, Prachi, please tell me.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, we have taken a loan on EMI basis. So it will complete in 12 months. So after 12 months, we will able to sit for the interview.
Okay, so Prachi,
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so on this basis, you will have to contact your counselor. He'll be helping you out on the same, okay?
Okay,
On
ma'am.
your fees part.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So anything else?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Any queries from the placement team?
No, ma'am. No queries.
Okay. If any, you can please write us back over the mail. We will be happy to help you. It won't be possible all the time that we can be available on the calls. So please drop a mail for any of the query and we will definitely answer you back within 24 to 48 hours of our working day for sure. You will get the email IDs of mine and Rajat as well. We will share draft email with you, sharing all the details what we have discussed as of now. Any more queries, please?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
guys. So
Over to
I
you.
just also want to add one last point that our first way communication will be over the email only, as Geetika and Rajat has mentioned. So after this meeting, you will be getting the minutes of meeting. So whatever we have discussed about the placement and the training part. Okay. So our second way of communication will be on the Telegram group chat. So you'll be also receiving the Telegram group link through which you can join the group. So every small details which have been communicated to you will be mentioned over the Telegram group chat only. So it is compulsory for all to join the group so that we can connect over the Telegram as well. Okay. Yeah, so from now onwards, Shikhi Pandey is your trainer, and she'll be taking care for your training part. Like she's your trainer, and from now onwards, Shikhi, are you there?
Yes, Sakshi, I'm here.
Yeah, Shikhi. So from now onwards, it's over to you.
Thanks, Sakshi.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, welcome to Ematicus. Now, all the other speakers have emphasized enough on your learning. So, your effort is equally important for your placement. So, as you've seen, there's a cutoff for placement in good companies. Your marks, your performance would be considered in various evaluation will be considered for your placement. So you guys have to be uh, very active on your learning. Okay. Uh, you'll have to share the responsibility with the Ematica. So I will have the responsibility of your learning. I will take that responsibility. I'll ensure that all of you learn. But you people will have to tell me when you are not learning. So for example, I have a particular way of explaining thing, or I have a particular way of taking the class, which might not be your way of learning. So you will have to tell me like, this is not how we learn, or this is not what we are understanding. So we'll have to share the responsibility. So don't think Ematicus as a point where you've just paid the fees and your placement is guaranteed. You guys will have to work hard to get a placement. On the other hand, we will share the responsibilities. So for example, Radha's team spoke with you, then Anshul spoke with you, Sakshi spoke with you. So we are there to share the responsibility. But yes, you guys also will have to take part in this responsibility. And if all of us do our job well, the results would be better. Okay. That is one thing you have to keep in mind. Another thing which I want to start from today itself is maybe start reading an English newspaper. So as Sakshi told you that when you go for placement, your communication skills, your domain knowledge, and the way you answer your questions is taken into account. So it is very important that you learn the language in which the interviewer would be interviewing you. So if you are, if the opportunity is, maybe in a small city of UP, it's okay. Maybe the interviewer will speak in English, in Hindi. You can also answer in Hindi. But as we were talking about flexibility of placement, uh, so you have to be flexible. If the placement is in Delhi or somewhere in Western India or South India, we have to be confident or fluent in speaking English. Obviously, it's a time-taking process, so we have 3.5 months with us to work on our communication skills. So maybe you can start reading English content, and also if you have the access, please start speaking with people close to you, maybe your friends, your family members, your cousins, your parents in English, which will make you more confident. So I hope nobody has a problem in understanding English. All of you can understand English because our classes will be conducted in English. We might use Hindi sometimes if some concepts are not clear or something. We might use Hindi, but our classes would be conducted in English. Anybody who has an issue with understanding English, please raise your hand, or please let me know. No
Yes,
one?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What's your name? I can't see you.
Shakti Jaiswal.
Shakti. Shakti, you don't understand English, or you understand some part of it? What is it? How fluent are you? Yes.
मैम थोड़ा समझ में आ रहा है बट कंप्लीटली पूरा समझ में नहीं आ रहा है इंग्लिश में.
तो आपकी पूरी पढ़ाई हिंदी मीडियम से हुई है?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine, Shakti. For the time being, if you don't understand something, maybe I will try to explain it in Hindi as well. But you will have to get comfortable with English.
Yes,
You can if you have watch English news, read, and now you have your mobile phone with you, so when you're reading, just don't read it just like that. Read it with a purpose of understanding it. If there are some words which you don't understand, refer to the dictionary, try to find out the words. So you'll probably have to work a little harder, because in today's professional world, it becomes a little difficult if you don't know English. Okay.
yes,
So wherever you are getting stuck, or if you have a problem, I'm there. I can converse in Hindi as well, not a problem. But you'll have to work towards improving your English communication. Okay.
okay.
Or because even your assignments will be held in English. So probably you'll have to work on it. Yeah. Anybody else? I hope all of you at least understand English.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, good. Uh, so that is how we are going to conduct the classes. So as Sakshi mentioned, the schedule would be shared with you. Whatever we are going to cover in the class in the coming week would be shared with you. My only request would be, if you can, just read the content before you come to the class. It will be easier for you to understand, and it will also be easier for me to go in depth, because we have limited time and we have to talk about many concepts and many things. So if you've gone through the content well before the class, it will be easier for you also to understand, to know what you don't understand, or where you need more clarification. Some simple things which you understand on your own, I might not be required to pay too much emphasis on it. So it is a good idea always to go through the content before you come to the class. Okay. And actually, if you go through the content before you come to the class, one, discuss the content in the class, and then when you go back, read it again. If you do it 3 times, it will be easier for you to understand and remember. And the placement team told you your selection is based on the domain knowledge. That will help you to strengthen your domain knowledge. So that is for me. If you have any questions on the methodology which we follow, or how we are going to have the classes, you can ask questions. Otherwise, we'll start with the content for today, which is about introduction of finance and financial services. Anyone? I'll pause for a minute or two in case you have any questions. I can answer that. Otherwise, I will start with the session. So I hope all of you can see my screen. You can see the presentation. And
Yes,
as
ma'am.
Sakshi introduced you to the LMS, this is what we are going to use for learning. I hope all of you would have your IDs by now. You have your
No,
LMS IDs, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, got it, ma'am.
Not yet. Who's this?
Ma'am, Prachi.
Prachi doesn't have.
We got it, but it's showing that it is not valid email or that password we got.
Okay. So Sakshi, can you please take care of that? Prachi's ID is not working. Anybody else's?
Yeah,
Prachi and
sure.
Pallav.
I'll be just dropping a text to you over the Telegram. Then you can come back to me if anyone is having the problem.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. And guys, note down one more thing, that the LMS credentials will be given to only those candidates who have cleared their first installment, or who have opted for the loan part. Okay. So I'll
Okay.
be just getting the details from your counselor about your fees, and then accordingly we'll be sharing the login credentials with you all by today itself. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Ma'am.
Okay.
Fine. So let us start with our session for today. So in this session, we are going to learn more about finance and financial sector. So objective or the agenda for today's session, for this session, we might not be able to cover everything, but we'll try to cover some of these things. We will see what is the need for capital in an economy, how this capital can be generated, or what is the method of capital formation. Now, what happens when you get the capital, how you harness, or what is that, how you use this capital, and what is the role which financial sector plays in intermediation of flows. So some of you might not understand each of these words. So it's okay. As we go along, you will understand better. You will understand the meaning of these words. But just to give you an idea, capital uh, just means money. Okay. So for doing any new thing, or for any kind of new venture, or for a business, money is required. Okay. So what are the ways for a business to get this money? Then how the business use this money? Okay. Now this money, where does this money come from, and what happens to this money? Okay. So if I ask you to give me a loan, okay, most of you would not be very confident in giving me the loan because you don't know me, right? But I might need this money to start a new business or to generate returns for you. So I'm giving you the assurance that I will give you returns, but you still don't trust me because you don't know me. There is no credit history for me, or you have not heard my name. So you will not give me that money. However, you have excess of money which you want to put to better use. Now, here the various financial intermediaries step in. Now, intermediary, as you understand, are something in between. So, for example, between your 10th and your graduation, you would have done your intermediate. So, usually your class 11th and 12th is known as your intermediate. Intermediate is the course you do between your class 10th and your graduation. So, you have intermediaries or financial institutions which help people who have money and they want to earn some return out of that money, and people who want this money for setting up a new business, for example. Okay, so that is the meaning of capital, and harnessing of the capital, and the role of financial intermediation in the economy. So let us see why capital is required in the economy. No, so how many of you read newspaper? Do you need read newspapers, all of you? I hope you do. If you don't, please start reading one. Okay. So for example, the country is facing a crisis, and it was facing it last year as well. So the finance minister of the company stepped up and said, we are announcing a package. So what does a package mean? That means we are giving money in the economy. Now, why money is required? Money is required for growth. We all know that we want to grow, or we want to do some new things, we need money. So in an economy, capital is needed for growth. And Indian economy is considered as one of the fastest growing economies in the world, and we are called a developing country. If you look at the US or the UK, they are called a developed country because they have achieved growth. And if you look at a very old tree, if you look at a very old tree which has achieved its height, it wouldn't grow much. But if you look at a sapling, or if you look at a new plant, it has high potential for growth. So India is like a small plant which has just started growing. So the potential for growth is very high in a developing country. Okay. The Indian economy is contributing to its high growth, and are many critical sectors, among which financial service sectors is unarguably one of the most distinguished sectors on the Indian economy. So if you look at the Indian economy, one of the contributors to the Indian economy is service sector, which includes IT and other kind of services. However, financial service sectors is also a prominent part of the Indian economy, and there is a lot of growth potential. So that's why probably all of you have joined this course, because if you want to grow, you have to be associated with a sector which is growing, and financial service sector is growing. And thankfully, the pandemic has not affected the financial sector too much, and we still have growth opportunities in this sector. And because there are growth opportunities, there is a lot of employment also in the financial service sectors. So if you look at economics, economic has two major activities, which is production and consumption. So in an economy, who will produce and who will consume? If anybody can answer, maybe, I do not know your names, but anyways, maybe Zubair, would you like to answer this question? Who would produce and who would consume? Oh, sorry. Okay, Shakti, did you understand what I've spoken till now? अभी तक जो कहा वो आपको समझ में आया?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you have a problem in understanding English. You can understand, no problem. Okay, so economy में कौन produce करेगा और कौन consume करेगा? Consume कौन करता है या चीजें कौन खरीद सकता है? अगर आप जनरल बात करो तो चीजें कौन खरीद सकता है?
Consumer.
कंज्यूमर खरीद सकता है या कस्टमर खरीद सकता है? जिसके पास पैसा है,
मैम जिसके पास पैसा है उस चीज को खरीदने के लिए.
Yes, correct.
Customer.
Yes.
Customers or buyers?
Customers are sellers. Customers are buyers, no? Customers will consume, then they are buyers, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And produce कौन करेगा?
Ma'am, firms or agents.
Companies or firms produce करेंगे.
Yes,
so these are two components of the economy. Okay. So consumption, as you said, is use of goods and service to satisfy a human need. Okay, it is the end use of production. So company produce because there are consumers or customers. So it's the end use of production, also the objective of production activity. Production, on the other hand, is done by the firms. So firms are the agent of production in an economy. They combine the factors of production and produce output for satisfying individual needs and wants. So you can also understand, if there is no production, there is no consumption, there is no production. So if you look at many restaurants or many food outlets have closed in the recent 1 year. What is the reason? People have stopped consuming outside food. For example, because of the pandemic, they have stopped consuming outside food. If they are not consuming outside food, the restaurants will not make it. If they don't make it, they will not earn any profit. Okay, so production is necessary for consumption, and the vice versa is also true. Consumption is also required for production. So you have seen both the scenarios. All the necessary drugs or all the medicines, paracetamol and all that, the production has increased because the consumption is.
Ma'am, दोनों ही important है.
I'm sorry.
Ma'am, दोनों ही important है.
दोनों ही important है और दोनों ही interrelated.
Yes, ma'am, क्योंकि जब तक produce नहीं होगा तब तक consumption नहीं होगा, जब तक consumption नहीं होगा तब produce नहीं होगा.
ओके और अगर कंजम्पशन ज्यादा होगा तो प्रोडक्शन भी ज्यादा होगा. अगर आप न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ रहे हैं तो you would have seen that all these Ayurvedic companies have posted a huge profit because the consumption of their goods have increased, therefore they have increased the production. So both consumption and productions are production is required for an economic activity. So if you look at how this started, so human always had need. However, earlier we did not have a defined or proper system of monetary exchange. We didn't have money. Okay, so people exchange the goods which they have for the goods they wanted. So even in today's time, in all places you still might have it. I request all of you to please mute yourself, and you can unmute in case I ask you a question or you want to say something. But in case you don't have anything to say, please keep yourself on mute. Otherwise, it creates a lot of disturbance. Okay? So before the actual exchange of value, there was barter system where people used to exchange things for they wanted, they had for the things they wanted. So barter system. Have you heard about barter system?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sure all of you would have. Barter system is exchange of goods. Okay? So buyer and seller, they didn't have money to pay each other, so the transaction was done by exchanging the goods they had and the goods they wanted. However, there were a lot of shortcomings to the barter system. So can you think of shortcomings to the barter system? What was the shortcomings to the barter system? Prachi, if you would want to answer this question.
मैम जो चीज अगर दूसरे को चाहिए तो मे बी जिससे उसे लेना है वो चीज उसे ना चाहिए नहीं चाहिए.
Correct. So it was difficult to find a person who would need exactly the thing you want and had exactly the thing and wanted the thing you had. So it was difficult to find a person with whom you can exchange things. What else?
जिसमें हम goods exchange करते हैं.
हाँ, गुड्स एक्सचेंज करते हैं, बट इसका ड्रॉबैक क्या होगा, डिसएडवांटेज क्या होगा?
मैम इसका डिसएडवांटेज ये होता है कि हो सकता है जो चीज हमारे पास जितने की वैल्यू है और अगर वो सामने वाला हमसे एक्सचेंज कर रहा है तो हो सकता है उस सामान की वैल्यू उतनी ना हो. तो हमारा ये डिसएडवांटेज है इन सब चीजों को लेकर.
करेक्ट. सो वैल्यूएशन वाज अ प्रॉब्लम because you didn't know what was the valuation. And अगर आपका for example livestock है, livestock है, you have a goat or a sheep or a buffalo, and you want for example a sack of wheat. Now the exchange value is very different. You can't cut your buffalo and work on that. So these were many disadvantages with the barter system, and therefore money was introduced in the system. So if you look at the history of money, money came into the picture from China, just like Corona. Money has also come from China. They were the first one to issue paper notes. However, in other parts of the world, people were using precious metals or things of values or cowrie shells for exchange. So China was the first country to use recognizable coins. Sometime around 1100 BC, the Chinese moved from using actual tools and weapons as a medium of exchange. So there was a time when tools and weapons were used as medium of exchange to using miniature replicas of same tool cast in bronze. Then coins were issued, and if you have visited various museums, you will see that in India also coins were used. However, these coins were crafted in precious metal, and they were used for exchange. So you can see some old coins. They were minted in 600 BC, and they first official currency. Then, as I told you, paper currency was introduced by China. Okay. So paper bills were first used by the Chinese, who started carrying folding money using the Tang during the Tang dynasty. So China can be credited for invention of money for exchange of value. Now, in today's time, this flow of money and all is controlled by the economics of the country, and economy has various constituents. There's a general environment which affects the economics. The political system affects the economics. The economic system affects the economics. The demographic, the profile of your citizens affects the economics. The ecosystem affects the economy. So there are some political forces, some technological forces, and some cultural forces which control the ecosystem of economics. Now, anybody has read economics? How do you define economy? Anybody can define economy? No one. Okay, fine. So if you look at the ecosystem of economics, it is actually a network of organization, which can be suppliers, distributors, customers, which are involved in of a service through cooperation, through competition, or so competition is also a part of economy. If you see here, the competition is also a part of economy. Corporation is also a part of economy. So now let us look at the economic pathways or constituents of or participants in the economic pathway. You have individuals who participate in the economics. You also have the government. You have various firms as well. So these are the economic pathways. For example, the individual earns, is employed. When he is employed, he will earn some money. After taking care of his expenditure and taxation, he will have a disposable income, which will result in saving. Okay. The taxes will go to the government. Then you will have organizations selling the goods to the customers, and depending on the demand of the customers. You also have government spending on various infrastructural projects, or various things for the benefit of the citizens. The government also spends on subsidies. Government spends on development of the country, so that there will be expenditure by the government as well. So these are the economic pathways. So people who are employed can meet their expenses by borrowing, okay, by benefits and incentives. Okay. Then you have organizations selling or buying these these products. Also, the exchange rate of a country, the taxes, the inflation affects the economics. So to define, I was asking these questions to you guys, but Nobody replied, and I'm sure some of you would have taken economics as a subject in your graduation or your intermediate. Anyways, to understand economics, economics is the study or deals with uses of resource of a nation for human consumption. Now, why we need to do this? Because the resources are scarce, so we don't have many resources. Your resources are limited, and that is what the economic study of economic does to help us use the resources of the nation optimally. So economic strives for optimum use of resources. Sorry, I got logged off. 1 minute, just give me a moment. Yeah, so optimum means the best use. How can I best use the resources? As we were talking about, the resources are scarce. So economic also is also known as study of scarcity of resources. Okay. In economics, individual must make decision over how to allocate their resources. So we've seen that the resources or the provisions are limited. How can we use this? It is true for a government. It is true for an individual. It is true also for a business. So if you look at you often talk about the economic policy of India. So if you look at the budget of India, for example, it will show that India has a very huge allocation for defense. Okay, so India being a poor country, development of people probably should be the priority for Indian government. But because of the way we are placed, we have Pakistan, we have China surrounding us, and now even Nepal has become hostile. So the government of India, for example, spends a lot of money on, allocates a lot of money to the defense sector in the economy. So the resources are limited. So for example, we might also have faced this situation sometime in my life. So for example, I get my pocket money. Now, what will I do with that pocket money would depend on my priority. So I decide what is the best use of this pocket money. Okay, so for example, a person who is interested in reading would forego the consumption of a chocolate to buy a book. On the other hand, if a person likes to party or a person wants to is a foodie, would like to spend that money on eating rather than buying a book or saving this money. So economics is basically the study or the way of allocating your resources, because resources are scarce. What we were talking about, scarcity ensures individuals make decision about how the scarce resources are allocated. So scarce means less, कम है, अब मेरे पास limited ही पैसा है. So where will I use it? So for example, you would have seen your mother make a budget. So what is she doing? She's trying to allocate the resources to the best possible use. So for example, she will not compromise on your education or maybe the food you eat. Maybe she'll compromise a little bit on buying clothes or entertaining guests. She can probably compromise on that, but she probably would not compromise on the quality of food you eat or the education you get. So that is, she also draws a budget for use of the resources she has. So economics aims to study where we make this decision and how we allocate our resources more efficiently. So how we put our resources to work, or what we have in hand to work most efficiently. So what will give us the best result? Now there are two branches of economics. microeconomics and macroeconomics. Micro means chota, no? All of you would know microscope, microbiology. Micro is small, macro is larger. So both these studies are important. Macroeconomics looks at the economy as a whole to understand its performance, structure, behavior, and the factors that impact these parameters. Microeconomics, on the other hand, is the study of decision made by individuals and firm in a particular market. So microeconomics is at a smaller level, at the level of an individual or a firm, to how they are allocating their resources. Macroeconomics, on the other hand, takes the bigger picture by aggregating the results impact by these decisions on individual markets. So what are the government, the decisions the government is taking? What is the money supply? What is the, physical deficit in an economy to, and what effect it's going to have. So two branches of economics. So this chart shows you the difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics. Macroeconomics studies the behavior of individual consumer or firm, whereas macroeconomics, on the other hand, studies the behavior of the whole economy. So macro is a bigger picture, micro is a smaller picture. Microeconomics covers demand, supply, product pricing, factor pricing, production, etc. Whereas macroeconomic looks at the national income, generalized price level or inflation, employment, money supply, etc. Microeconomics helps to determine price of a particular commodity or factors of production. Macroeconomics, on the other hand, helps to determine general price level. So it's a bottom-up approach. That means you are looking at the smaller thing first and then moving up. Whereas macroeconomics is on the reverse of it. So it's on the top-down approach. So for example, if you're looking from an airplane, it's a macroeconomic. So airplane में जब आप बैठते हैं तो आपको बहुत सारी चीजें दिखती हैं ना. You're looking from the above level, but you don't see the things in detail. You're looking at a macro level, or you're looking at a overall level. Okay. Whereas if you come down and
Ma'am, your voice is not clear.
Hello, can you hear me now? Is it with everyone? Is my voice not clear with everyone?
Ma'am, not with everyone.
And
Yeah, ma'am.
sometimes in between your voice is not coming properly.
Okay. So I'll be more conscious, maybe. Yeah. So now is it clear now? It is clear now?
Yeah, clear.
Not clear. Zubair, you can't hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me? Is my voice clear to you?
Yeah, buffering is voice.
Shakti, what about you? आपको आवाज सुनाई दे रही है?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
सुनाई दे रही है ना आवाज?
Yes, ma'am. Not clear. Is
Voice is not
buffering
clear.
is voice. Yes.
Okay.
Is loudly.
Okay, I'll try to be louder. It is only with the volume off for my voice, or is there any disturbance in between as well?
Sometimes in between your voice is not coming properly. Otherwise, it is clear.
So let me know. I think this is some disadvantage of using technology. So in case you can't hear me properly, please let me know. I will try to do something, try to adjust it. Anyways, okay. Right. So I was talking about macroeconomics. So it takes a bird eye view. ऊपर से देखता है वो. Okay. Or microeconomics sees from the bottom. So that is the difference between macroeconomics and microeconomics. Now, we have seen the constituents of economy. So two main components of economy. We've seen consumption and production. So production is done by the firm. So they are a part of economy, and individual and consumers are also a part of economy. So if you look at consumers or individuals are the people who have the money, whereas firms are the entity which needs that money. Okay, so both are integral part of the economy. They are the economic agent. So firms combine the factor of production to produce output for consumption of individual or consumer in return of profit. On the other hand, individuals and consumer are the providers of basic factor of production. Now, as you've seen, there's a close relationship between production and consumption. Okay, so if there is no consumption, there'll be no production. So the individual contribute to the production in two ways. One, they consume it, and also they provide the factors of production, which is land, labor, and capital. So when people take up a job, they get some income in return, which is wages, rent, and interest, and which increases the consumption. Okay, so both are dependent on each other. So you have two distinct group of the economy, the individual or the consumers and the firms, and they are interrelated by land, labor, and capital. So for production, who will work? Individual will work. And if the company wants money, where will it come from? It will come from them. So who will consume? The consumer, the individual will consume. So the individual contributes to the economy through land, labor, and capital. And whereas the firm combines the factor of production to produce an output. So these are the factors of production: the land, labor, and capital. Capital means money. Don't get confused. Capital means money. Income would be created by rent, wages, and interest. So for example, the individual, I have a huge plot of land and I give it to rent, give it on rent to a company which wants to set up a factory. So they will pay me rent for the land which I have given. Also, I start working for that company. So I'm also providing labor. Also, the company needs money. So the nobody usually does business on their own money. They either borrow money or they ask partners to contribute that money. So if I want to be a partner for that, or I've given my money on loan, so they will pay me interest. So the factor of productions can be land, labor, and capital, which is provided by the individuals, whereas income is provided by the companies. So therefore, if you look at when states talk about development in a state is only possible when various companies come and set up their offices or productions or factories in the state. So for example, since Yogi Adityanath has become the chief minister, he's working on investor mela and all that stuff. What is he trying to do? He's trying to get companies to set up their factories or their offices in the state. When they come, they will produce sources of income for the individuals or the consumers. Now, capital is a very important factor of an economy, because if you don't have capital, you cannot have production. So capital brings together all the other factors of production and thereby creates a conducive environment for economic activity to take place. Factors of production are capital, labor, and land. Without this, production is not possible. So without sufficient capital, economic activity cannot start, and even if it starts, will not be able to sustain for long. For the purpose of overall economy, availability of sufficient capital is of utmost importance. So you would have seen this in your real life also. Somebody started a business and then they had to shut down because they did not have enough money. So money is required for any kind of economic activity. Also, when you have you start an economic activity, it helps the economy grow. So for example, I set up a factory. Now I will need people to work in that factory. So I will generate employment. When I generate employment, whose mic is on? Zubair and Shakti, if you can please mute your mic. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, so I was talking about if I set up a factory, I will employ a lot of people. When people are employed, they will get wages. When they get wages, they will spend it. They will either spend it or they will invest it. So this money again will come to me. So they are buying products for me, and they are also investing in my company. So this is the entire cycle. So for a progress of a country or an economy, capital is required. So if you look at this chart here, capital will help you to sustain, is required for sustain economic activity, and which is required for progress. So for example, if you look at certain states in India, they are still not developed. If you look at maybe a Punjab or a Gujarat, they are more developed than states like Rajasthan, UP, Madhya Pradesh. And why is it possible? Why is it so? It is because there is not much money which comes to this state. So if you look at people of Gujarat, you'll find a lot of NRIs, Gujaratis. So they send their money back. Now they have capital. Capital can be used for starting an economic activity. Similarly for Punjab, half of the Punjab is in Canada and the US. They send money. There is capital, and economic activity can start, which is not that true for a state like UP or Bihar or a Madhya Pradesh. Okay? So basically the crux of it is for growth of an economy, sustained economic activity is required. For sustaining an economy, adequate capital is required. Without adequate capital or adequate money, you will not be able to sustain an economic activity. If you don't have a sustainable economic activity, obviously your progress would be compromised on. So we have examples of progress as well. So for example, when metro came to Lucknow, you have the metro corporation being set up. Now metro employs a lot of people. So you have a metro pilot, you have a person at the ticket counter, you have a person to clean. So they have generated employment. So any kind of economic activity generates employment, and money is required for a sustained economic activity. Okay, so having seen this, let us understand how well you have understood it. So can somebody answer this question? What are the different factors of production contributed
Land,
by
labor, and capital.
Land, labor, and capital.
Okay, good. And what are rent, wages, and interest? How will you classify them?
Rent is for land, wages for labors, and interest for capital.
So how do you classify them into one?
Firms.
They are income, no? They are sources of income?
Yes, ma'am, sources of
right?
income.
So land, labor, and capital are the factors of production provided by individuals, contributed by individuals, whereas rent, labor, wages, and interest are sources of income provided by the firms. So which of the following statement is true?
Generate output and the need consumption. Decision made by individual. Ma'am, first one, production is the activity whereby the factors are combined to generate output to satisfy the needs and wants of individual by the way of consumption.
Correct. The second one, is the second one true?
A need is something essential for survival, while wants are good to have, not essential. I'm not sure about second one.
Okay.
First and second.
Second is also true. The third one obviously is wrong.
Third one is
and
macro, but but here it is micro, but third one is referred as for the micro.
Yes. So third one is definitely not correct.
Not correct. Yes.
Macroeconomics
and
is
two.
not the study of decision made by individual. That is
It's a whole.
microeconomics.
It's the study of whole. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Whereas macroeconomy is the study of economy as a whole to understand its parameter.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Right. So third is definitely wrong.
Yes, ma'am.
So to summarize what we have seen till now, we have seen the production and consumption are the basic building blocks of the economic activities. There are two branches of economy, which is microeconomics, which deals with economic decision at individual or firm
Individual.
level. Yeah. And macroeconomics, which deals with at
Whole
overall
or
economy
overall.
level. Yeah. So you have various factors of production, which is land, labor, and capital, which is provided by consumers or individuals. And uh, you have factors of income, which is provided by the firms. Okay? So factors of production, such as land, labor, and capital, are combined to achieve production of goods and services. Capital or money is a key factor which brings together the other factors and thus initiate the sustained economic activity. So to for a sustained economic activity, capital is required, and which is bought by, bought in by the individual customers, right? So any questions on what we have covered till now?
No, ma'am. No questions.
शक्ति, आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं हुई इसको समझने में?
नो मैम, समझ में आ गया.
Ma'am,
समझ में आ गया
the
ना?
voice is not clear.
The voice is not clear still.
Yes, ma'am. Now it's clear, ma'am. Please repeat.
I was just asking, I was trying to get a confirmation from you if you have, understood what we have spoken till now. If you have any questions regarding what we have covered till now, before we proceed to the next topic. Soumya?
Yes, ma'am. All clear.
All clear. So
Yes, ma'am.
let's go to the next topic. Which is method of capital formation. So we have seen that capital is required for sustained economic activities. So how do I get this capital? What are the methods of capital formation? How this capital can be formed? Now we have seen that the resources are scarce in an economy. So what do you do? So in an example, if you have to spend or invest, how do you arrange for it? So if you don't have money, you
Ma'am,
need
your voice
money.
is not coming, ma'am. Please
Hello,
repeat.
voice is not coming still. Is it any better now?
Ma'am, you are not audible.
I was waiting for your confirmation. Now, even now you can't hear.
Ma'am, you are not audible. That's why we are not confirming.
Still, I'm not audible still. So let me do one thing. Let me log off and log in. Maybe there's a problem with the network.
Shikhi, actually, you are quite audible. There may be internet connection issues at their end because I can hear you properly.
Okay.
Guys, if you are facing any internet connectivity issues,
disturbance in
then
between.
sorry. Yeah, anyone who is facing the internet connectivity issue, please make sure that you sit in the area in which your connection is strong. So you can log off and rejoin the session so that, there is no possibility of any further disturbance, right?
Okay, so I wanted to check with you, Sakshi. If I'm audible to you, maybe then there's no problem at my end.
मैम इधर आवाज क्लियर आ रही है, हम लोग को आवाज
क्लियर आ रही है ना? ठीक है,
ठीक है।
Yeah, so I was asking you a question. If you need money, what options do you have? Where can you get money from?
By the bank, by taking the loan.
Okay, so you can take a bank loan. What
Loan
else?
from finance companies.
Loan from finance company. Okay. Now, if you want to start a business, is there any other way you can take generate capital, or any way you can ask people to give you money?
हम किसी से उधार भी ले सकते हैं.
उधार तो ले लिया, ठीक है, उधार तो
हाँ.
सेम है ना, बैंक से
हाँ.
लिया, फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन से लिया या किसी और से लिया, तो उधार है, उसके अलावा कैसे ले सकते हैं? और कोई और तरीका है? अगर आपको कोई बिजनेस शुरू करना है, कोई और तरीका है आपके पास किसी और से पैसा लेने के लिए?
मैम एक चीज हो सकता है, अगर अगर
मैम किसी
मेरे पास
लैंड को बेचकर या फिर
मेरे
किसी
पास
प्रॉपर्टी
कोई
को
जमीन है.
रखकर।
Is for
वो तो
helping.
आपका ही हुआ ना, वो पैसा तो आपका ही हुआ। अगर आप you know if you are selling your asset, that money is yours, and if you are you know keeping your asset as a mortgage, you know your land as a mortgage, again that is a kind of loan. So loan से तो ले सकते हैं। तो ये समझ में आ गया कि capital can be generated by taking a loan. Is there any other way I can ask people to contribute in my business or be a part of my business?
या हम किसी को पार्टनर बना सकते हैं जो
हम किसी
इन्वेस्ट
को
करने के लिए
पार्टनरशिप में
तैयार है.
करके।
Correct. Very good.
Yes.
So if we are starting a business or we are starting a new activity, we have actually 3 ways of generating this capital. So so you could come out with the 2 of them. So first is you go to the bank and take a loan from the bank. So that is one of the ways of generating capital. The other can be you can take loan from others. That will also generate capital. The third way is that you can ask people to partner with you. That means they contribute and become an equal partner in the profit you generate. Okay, so these are 3 ways of capital formation in an economy. Okay, so if you can see, so you can borrow from banks or financial institution, or you can also borrow from the market. Then you can borrow from others, and you can
Equity.
also issue equity. Equity, as the name says, is equal partnership in the business. Okay, so these are 3 ways of capital generation in an economy: by bank loan, by taking loan from others, and by equity and shares. Now your loan can be short term or long term. We will you know understand it a little later, but you can generate capital by taking loan, which can be from the bank or from general public, and also you can generate capital by issuing equity shares. So we have seen that in an economy, you have people who are in surplus of money, and then you have people who are in deficit. Okay, so we have seen the 2 components of the economy, the firms and the individuals, who are in deficit and who are in surplus. In an economy, who will be in surplus and who will be in deficit?
Surplus is the profit.
Yeah, surplus is the profit or surplus is the extra money. That's okay. But in economy, we have seen 2 components. We've seen firms and individuals as 2 components of the economy. Out of these 2, who will be in surplus or who would be in deficit?
And firms are in surplus and individuals.
Individuals are, so if you are in deficit, you go to the firm and take a loan? No.
Yes. No.
So if you look at in an economy, individuals are, the sources of income are for the individuals. No? So rent, wages are the sources of income for the individuals. So in an economy, the individuals are usually in surplus. You are right in saying, yes, we take loans because our current income might not support the buying of a certain kind of asset. So that's okay. So we go and take a loan from the bank. But usually if you look at, we also save. No? So individuals are net savers, whereas firms are net, you know, they are in deficit because companies always need money to grow their business. Okay, so they are, so buyers are individuals who have that extra money. Now these can be institutions also who have money to invest, and Companies are the sellers who need the money for their growth. Okay, so buyers save their money, and because the transaction is not possible directly between the buyer and the seller, financial institutions like the banks or the investment banks act as a mediator between the people who are in surplus of money and people who are in deficit. So if you look at the pictorial representation, you see a dollar bill in the hand of the buyer. That means this person has money which he wants to put good use to. Okay, and therefore he gives this money to the seller, because this seller is going to start a new business or expand his business, which will generate a income for the buyer. Okay, so buyer is a person who are in surplus. He keeps that money with the bank, and bank gives it as a loan to the seller. The seller then produces goods and services which are used by the buyer. So this is the flow of money in an. So we have seen money is required for economic growth and development. Without money, economic development is not possible. So money is required. Flow of money is vital for economic growth and development. So if you've seen in the recent past, we have been talking about, we are struggling with growth because the economy is impacted. Both the consumption and the production has been affected, and therefore the economy has been affected. Money moves in form of transaction. So when we buy something, the money moves from me to the seller. And when we invest, again the money moves from me to the seller. So buyers pay for their consumption and money flows to the seller. Now banks and other financial intermediaries play an important role in the flow of that money. So banks are an important channel for flow and accounting of money. And this is also known as the financial intermediation business of the bank. So your financial market provides investment opportunity and funds to borrow. They also provide payment mechanism. So if you look at a business of a bank, what does a bank do? So this is a very common interview question. How do you define a bank, or what does a bank do? So bank is a financial intermediary which provides investment opportunities, also payment mechanism, and means to reduce risk. So financial intermediation business combines all these factors to move money from the people who are in surplus to the people who are in deficit. Okay, so we have seen.
If we have to answer, what is the role of bank? What is the role of bank?
So the main role of bank is financial intermediation. So have you understood financial intermediation? What would it mean?
It means those who have a deficit money and those who have surplus, it can intermediate between them.
So that is the first business of the bank. The second is the bank is a part of the payment system. So if you have to move money, if you have to make payment to someone, how will you do it? You have to necessarily do it through a bank. Okay, so the second important function of the bank is it's a constituent of the payment system. And a third role which the bank plays is providing financial services and distributing investment products. So if you go to the bank, you can get a debit card. You can also buy insurance. You can buy mutual funds from the bank. So these are the main functions of a retail bank. So as we progress in the course, we will see what are the different business units of a bank. But if you look at retail bank, which is probably the most familiar type function of the bank. So retail bank basically deals with in three important things, which is first is financial intermediation. The second is selling financial products and services, providing financial products and services. And the third is they are constituent of the payment system. Right? Okay. Now, the money can be, the capital can be formed for long term and for short term. Short term is less than 1 year. So if a company needs money for short term, it has a different way of generating it. Whereas if it wants money for longer term, it has two ways to create that capital. One is debt and the other is equity. So we have spoken about it. Can somebody tell me the difference between debt and equity? What is debt and what is equity?
Ma'am, debt is a loan which we take from a
Correct.
bank, and equity is the equal share in profit.
Yes. So debt is a loan. Maybe we can take it from a bank or
Profit
we
and
can
loss
take it
both.
from other. Profit and loss? Yeah, loss. Yeah, correct.
Yes,
Correct.
ma'am.
So when you invest in equity, you are a partner in profit as well as loss. Correct. So please remember, it is pronounced as debt. The B is silent. We don't say debt, though we have a B here, but we say it, we pronounce it as debt because English is a funny language. We can't help it. So pronounce it as debt and not debt. So debt is kind of loan. You can take it from bank. You can also take it from any other financial institution, or you can also take debt from general public. Okay, so debt, and then you have equity. Equity comes from equal. That means you are equal partner in the profit and loss of the company. Yeah, correct. Okay, so that is the difference. Now, short-term debt is issued in the money market, whereas long-term debt is issued in the capital market. So capital market are markets, as we understand, is a place where we can buy and sell. So we know, for example, sabzi market, cloth market, electronic market. So markets are places where you can buy and sell. So where you can buy and sell financial instruments are known as financial markets. Depending on the maturity of the financial instruments, you can classify the financial markets as money market or capital market. Capital market is for long term. So you can issue debt or equity in the capital market. So the capital market gives the opportunity to match the demand for funds with the supply of funds. So there are companies, there are institutions who need money for business purposes, and then there are people who are in surplus. So they match the demand for funds with the supply of funds. As we have seen, when the country has money or the company has capital, it allocates capital for economic growth to create job, infrastructure, and ideas. So if you don't have money, creating a new business would not be possible. And if you don't have new business, you will not be able to create new jobs. So capital is required for fueling the economic growth. Okay. So just to summarize what we have covered till now, we have seen business needs capital. Capital can be formed by either saving or borrowing, and then you invest for capital formation. So there's a difference between saving and investment. Saving, you are actually just looking for the money you have. That is saving. Whereas when you invest, you're expecting better return. So that is the difference between saving and investment. So one way to take advantage of investment opportunity is to save a portion of your current income and use these savings to invest. This is true for individual and businesses. The other way is to borrow. If you don't have money, you can borrow it. The borrowing could be from banks, or you could approach the financial market to issue securities. The investment so done results in capital formation. Okay, so I think I'll end the session here today. In case you have any questions, or we can look at it, or we can end the class. Yes, anyone, any question?
मैम कुछ करंट से क्वेश्चन कर सकते हैं?
हाँ, क्या चीज?
कोई करंट मतलब न्यूज से क्वेश्चन कर सकता हूँ?
हाँ, बताइए क्या क्वेश्चन करना है?
मैम जैसे ये सिटी बैंक जो है, ये कंज्यूमर बैंकिंग से बाहर निकल रहा है, तो इसका मतलब क्या होगा मैम? और जो इसके एम्प्लॉइज हैं उनका क्या होगा?
एम्प्लॉयज का क्या होगा वो मुझे नहीं पता, पर बिजनेस का मैं बता देती हूँ आपका क्या है. कंज्यूमर बैंकिंग मतलब क्या है? रिटेल बैंकिंग, प्रोवाइडिंग बैंकिंग सर्विसेज टू रिटेल कस्टमर्स. तो उनको क्या चाहिए होता है? सेविंग चाहिए होता है, इन्वेस्टमेंट चाहिए होता है, और फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज चाहिए होता है, और लोन चाहिए होता है कुछ. So Citibank has decided this is not a very profitable business. So they will continue doing banking in the investment banking space, but they want to exit retail banking. अब जो इनके customers है उनका क्या होगा? Now business को चाहिए, business उनका ये existing database है ना? तो अब ये क्या होगा? There are many banks in the fray to buy it. So if you look at what will happen to these customers, the customers will still have their account. Obviously, they will not have it with Citibank. They will have it with a new bank which buys their business. So they're trying to sell their business. So they're not saying you withdraw your money, we will close and go. What they're saying, we will not handle it. We will pass on this business to some other bank. So now instead of having, so far, I'm just giving an example. Okay. So for example, they sell this business to SBI. So rather a person who has a Citibank card will now have a SBI card. That's it. They exit. What will happen to their employees, I do not know. That will depend on their HR policy. But what will happen to their business, they will pass it on to some other bank.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, then. So if you don't have any other questions, anybody, any other question?
No, ma'am, no questions.
Okay. So again, as I told you, please go and read it once again, what we have covered in the class. It will help us, and some, maybe something additional as well, so that tomorrow's class, you know exactly what I'm going to talk about. Okay. So please go and read. Yeah.
Ma'am, actually, we had a problem that our college online classes timing and Imartica's classes timing are clashing.
Okay.
And ma'am, because Imartica's timing is from 1 and ma'am, college online classes timing is also from 1.
Sakshi, can we take care of this? Sakshi, are you there? Sakshi. So just give me a moment. I'll get Sakshi online and see what we can do.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Sakshi, are you there now? Yeah, Sakshi. So few of them have a problem with the timing. So it is clashing where their online college sessions.
College,
So
yes, ma'am.
With that.
Okay, so by what time you are having your online classes for the college?
Ma'am, from 1 to 2
tomorrow, and we'll know when is the time. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, thank you, ma'am.
And yeah, guys, I'll be sharing the minutes of meeting with you all. You just need to revert over the same mail by giving the acknowledgement that you have received the mail. Okay.
Okay.